All right, friend. Have you ever heard of a Scovlon haircut?
Yep. Can you do one of those with a sledgehammer?
No, but I can give my best shot with my bare hands.
Greetings, mortals, and welcome to another episode of the Tabletop Sandbox podcast. This is episode 14 of Canticle of the Crimson Wake, our Blades in the Dark actual play podcast. And we find ourselves, after pursuing a guard into a maze, then using some whisper abilities to sense the right direction, that was the only direction that felt like the wrong direction, you made it out of the maze and into a room that, when the door closed behind you, had no visible exits. There were portraits of members of the Kinclaith family, and I'm maybe going to retcon a little bit and say that, do you think that Yelsina's like silver streaks are hereditary?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so they have red hair, but their hair is accented by, is it blonde, platinum, or pure silver?
Silver.
Pure silver streaks. And 3 of them, an unknown man and 2 women, are in portraits, and they were possessed by ghosts. The only painting that was not containing a ghostly entity was the painting of Mads Kinclaith that was on the wall behind you after you came in. You dispatched one with a ghost knife through the heart, and another, the big, scary, burnt skeleton that Tony set the painting on fire, you grabbed and put into a spirit bottle, and the other, Kavlov, sledgehammered in the solar plexus and dragged his top half out of the painting. And you currently have part of a ghost on the floor, and you still don't necessarily know where your exit from this room is.
Can I like put its head in like my spirit tongs?
Again, it's a dog catcher, so it's like a.
Can I just keep calling it spirit tongs and we understand what
Sure,
it is?
absolutely.
Thank you. Okay, can I grab it with my spirit tongs?
Yes, you may.
And make sure like it stays in place. And I think we're probably gonna question it. Maybe if anyone wants to question it.
Talk to the ghost. You gotta.
I don't know how to talk to ghosts.
Oh, that sucks.
I'll try. I've never talked to a ghost before.
Yeah, you see it is kind of a translucent aquamarine echo of the man in the painting that now has like a bit of a smudge and a crack in the wall where it was hit with a sledgehammer. But you see that this man has a vivid amount of detail after being basically torn in half. And you are thankfully not like seeing the actual red and the, slickness of his innards as they're spilling out, but it's still pretty grotesque. But even still, after he's kind of caught his breath as much as he can, he is fighting against the spirit tongs, and there is kind of he's letting out this kind of shriek that is like a full volume shriek, but you're hearing it as quieter than that, but it still kind of hurts your ears. And this may be the first time that you've been face to face with a spirit. But since we acted well on this, I'm not going to make you, because this is like, its effect has been lessened. So normally when you encounter a spirit, you have to like resist being paralyzed or running away. And most of the cohort after all this is just kind of like huddled in the corner away from this because they are not like used to dealing with ghosts like this. The Stanchik sisters are probably at least a little bit shaken by seeing this ghost, especially the ghosts that climbed out of the painting and killed a man by touching him.
Yeah, that was whack.
But yeah, you do see this kind of struggling ghost on the ground.
Can I like reach my foot out and try to tap it and see if it reacts?
I don't think you should do that.
Do you think I should do that?
He might bite you.
Okay.
You kind of kick your toe through like an edge of the ghost, and there is a slight resistance, but it kind of like dissipates like smoke as you pass your foot through part of it, and then you kind of jump back as like the arm flails toward you, and you get the sense that you can only slightly interact with this.
Can it hear people? I've never talked to a ghost before.
Ghost can hear.
Hi, excuse me. I don't know about this. Maybe I should just stand back and watch and you do the talking? I can fact check it?
You said you wanted to talk to them earlier.
Master will consume you!
Oh.
It's just raging.
I
Like it breaks the screaming to yell that.
Kill it.
I slam its head a little bit on the floor and I tell it to shut up.
Yeah. You see he's still like
Bad ghost.
screaming full volume, but actually the volume in your ears lowers a little bit. Still feral, but also a little bit cowed.
Kavlov, you want to talk to it then?
I don't think we're getting anywhere with talking to it.
Let me
Kill it.
try one thing.
Smush it.
Let me try one thing.
What are you going to try?
Just watch.
Okay.
I'm gonna go up to it. I'm gonna go, listen. We will let you out if you tell us how to get out of here. And I'm gonna.
What action would you like to
I'm
use?
just sway because it's a lie.
You are
I'm not gonna let him out.
going to have. You're in a risky position,
Okay.
and you're going to have. This is not just a ghost, but a feral ghost.
Yeah.
So I think that in order to have any effect, you'd have to like push yourself, because I think. It being a ghost drops you to limited effect, and it being a fully feral ghost drops you to no effect.
I'll do it. I push myself. That's too
So
stress.
you would,
eh?
yeah, but instead of taking an extra die, you give yourself one extra effect level.
Okay.
So you will give yourself limited effect instead of no effect, but you roll the regular number
So
of
it
dice.
could actually work.
It could actually work.
could
That's
actually
what you're
work.
doing, yeah.
If only I took that special ability where I could talk to feral ghosts. This situation would have been solved.
Sucks.
We never had the need for it.
No.
so-
Never have, yeah.
A 4.
That was 2 1s and a 4, but it was really sad to see those ones.
Okay. You're kind of like yelling at this thing, and he's arguing back with you, and you're like, "No, we're gonna let you out, but you gotta tell us how to leave. We're gonna set you free." And you're swaying him, and you do succeed, but as a consequence of this, I am ticking a clock that you are not yet aware of.
Oh, I don't like that.
Jolly good time. Well, nothing went wrong.
Ghosts.
far as
But
we can
then
tell.
it's less that he actually breaks down and tells you.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like as he's screaming and says, "The master will consume you," and he's flailing everywhere. And then you look over
master.
and he's like reaching toward
Mads.
the
Has to
painting
consume us. We gotta go
of
through it.
Mads. And then you see just kind of at the angle that you're at, after some of the paint was like smudged a little bit by Kavlov and Crick ripping the frame off the wall, you see that, the canvas that it's attached to is like adhered to the wall. And you see that in his hand that nobody really noticed before because you were just taking in surface details and there were ghosts around. You see that he's sitting there, regal, with his fierce-looking red hair with the silver streaks in it. And you see that in one of his hands, he is holding a medallion, the same medallion that you have seen all of the other hooded figures kind of wearing as they're performing the ritual downstairs, and what you assume you've seen as they walked into the front of the house this night. And you kind of, off to the side, you catch a glimpse of where it is slightly actually offset from the rest of the painting, as if it is attached to either like a bump on the wall or there's
Door
something
handle.
behind it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over and investigate that and figure out what the medallion,
Yeah.
medallion's offset.
The medallion, as you go over
Yeah.
there and you touch the medallion, it kind of pushes inward. It's like a
Okay.
button in the wall, pressing this medallion. And you see as a section of the formerly indistinguishable, like smooth black marble, just and opens just a half an inch, and you see the outline of a secret door.
Wow.
Which is interesting because it's not the same door that you, like, it doesn't look the same as the door you entered through. Maybe it was just looked completely different. but this is on the same wall as the door that you entered through.
Should we let him go?
It's like in the same place.
No, we're not letting him go.
Kill him.
And then I'm like, well, I mean, you want to hit him?
Bash his head
I mean,
in.
I have one
All
more
right.
spirit bottle, but
Hold him down.
okay.
Overhand.
Toodaloo.
We're yeah, you know those carnival games where like, you try to hit the thing as hard as it can so the thing can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The strongman
Yeah,
hammer
the strongman
games.
hammer
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing that, but instead of like hitting a thing, it's this thing's skull.
Yeah. What action would you like to use?
Skirmish.
Are you fighting with this thing?
No,
To me,
but-
this sounds more like wreck.
okay. It can be wreck.
Yeah.
Because
And this is because what you're doing is not that risky. This is a controlled position for standard effect.
okay,
Dinosaur, what am I doing?
6.
Nice. Yeah. So as you slam your hammer down, this thing kind of explodes into tendrils of aquamarine mist. And you are confident that you have not just dissipated this ghost, you have kind of eliminated it. Which, for like lower level ghosts, I'm allowing that to happen fairly easily when you have the right tools.
Okay.
So you have like obliterated this ghost.
Yeah.
I didn't technically lie.
We let it go.
We let it go. This was a lot of unpleasant and sad thoughts inside of Yagoda's head. When
Don't
she
think about it
ponders
too hard.
Yeah. She ponders what we just did.
But yeah, you guys now all see this secret door in the wall that has just kind of unlatched, but not opened.
I like to imagine the Skovlander who's left carries the body of the other Skovlander, like continues on.
He'll go, he kind of picks it up and throws it over his shoulders. So what do you do?
Onward.
Through the door.
I think we go. Is a handle on the door?
Nope. But there's enough of the edge that you can kind of get it in.
Okay, then Kavlov will open the door.
And there is an eruption of gunfire as you look into a completely different area than the hallway that you came in before. You see just a glimpse of a very nice foyer-looking area. You see that there's doors off to either side and a pair of double doors right in front of you, which doesn't make any sense like architecturally, because you walked down a hallway that was longer than this foyer in this direction. And so you have opened this into a new space. At the center of this foyer, there is a radiant tree
Touch it.
that in a plus off from it,
Touch it
there
now.
are kind of, granite flower beds
touch it
that
so
are
bad.
holding blooming flowers and greenery, and taking cover behind this granite flower bed, and as soon as you open the door, opening fire, are a bunch of guards of Kenley House. As this
Steal the plant?
this wave of incoming gunfire breaks the silence of this room, what do you do?
I'm throwing a grenade.
Can I see out the door? Does he
wanna
open the
do
door
it.
enough where we can all see outside?
Yeah, Kavlov just kind of opens the door into the lobby and then gets shot at.
Okay.
She's Spark might throw another wind at them.
Oh, that's a good
Blow 'em
idea.
back.
You
do
see
that
that they
before my bomb.
are a little surprised that you open the door, but they were kind of set up waiting.
Okay. Yeah, if you've got something to do.
If you duck
after
out of the way, she'll
immediately-
just and like swipe her hand across.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, Kavlov was gonna. I mean, I think his first reaction is to yell at everyone to get down,
Yeah.
and then he's gonna like try to slam the door closed.
Okay.
Okay.
What action would you like to use?
Command to get everyone to get out of the way of this gunfire.
Yeah, I'll allow that.
Okay.
And that'll be generally how effective everybody else is at
Reacts.
avoiding harm.
Yeah.
And the consequence for this will likely be you getting shot.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's fine. 4.
Okay.
4. Okay. Yeah, I think this is a desperate position.
Sure.
Yay,
And so
XP!
mark XP because you're not immediately worrying about your own safety. Instead, you're commanding everybody else to get out of the way. So you put yourself in a desperate position by just standing in the midst of an ambush and then trying to close this heavy stone door. So that's a desperate position. You got a 4, which means that everybody else kind of is able to duck out to either side of the room. But as you are kind of muscling this big door closed, it's actually going to be a level 3 harm shot in the chest.
Ooh, yeah, I'll resist that.
Okay.
Perhaps.
Absolutely.
Which means it'll be reduced to level 2 harm. This would be a prowess resistance roll.
Okay. 4. So
4.
take 2
you
stress.
Take 2 stress. And I read that we are doing harm wrong. You don't have to fill both of them to have that negative effect. However, the negative effect only applies to things that specific harm would be relevant to.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, got it.
So
my
if you
punctured
are
leg.
emotionally shaken from an encounter with your uncle, that has no effect on your ability to like physically do stuff. And so what I'm going to say is, as you take this level 2 harm, what's the level 2?
Minus 1d.
Minus 1d. Okay, because it shot in the chest, you're going to take minus 1d on prowess rolls with that harm. You can't always push yourself to change that.
We're in trauma territory, guys.
Oh, really? So am I.
But you managed
getting there.
to scare everyone enough that they get out of the way. However, as you are getting shot and slamming this big door closed, Tony and Spark, would you like to
Fuck shit up.
summon some wind and throw a grenade?
Yeah, baby.
All right. What actions would you like to use?
Wreck.
Since I'm still technically spirit burn, would that be still less effect? And then I would roll a tune to see if I could add more effect, or no?
Yes, because you're spirit burned, that would affect your attunement.
Okay.
Which, yeah, we're gonna go with it from now on,
Okay.
and then that kind of makes harm a little bit
my
more
other arm.
serious.
Yeah.
But also not always serious. But for attunement, yeah, it would do that. But actually, you're not doing your ability just allows you to spend the stress to do this.
Yes.
So is the spirit burn 1 less D or lesser effect?
Less effect. That's why I was saying, if it's
Okay.
less effect, do you want me to roll a tune to see if I can bump it up to? Because that's what we did last time to push the guys back.
Yeah. I'll allow that. Normally, I would be probably push yourself to get greater effect. Like that's the built-in mechanic. But I'm okay because this doesn't initially involve a roll.
Yeah.
You can roll to try and increase it. However, you are
got
opening
this.
yourself up to a potential consequence.
You got this.
That's a 4.
All right.
Ooh. So when Kavlov yells out, I think she just instinctively like reaches out and does that, like almost like without even thinking before she's like trying to get out of the way.
Yeah, so it's not enough to save you, Kavlov, but you, as you're slamming the door closed, you watch as a wind just fills this, maybe 40-foot by 40-foot room, and you see not the guy who shot you, he manages to keep his footing, but a few of them go flying, stumbling into the walls, and there's basically a whirlwind in there.
That's awesome.
And then Tony, you are
Yeah.
rolling wreck.
I'll throw a bomb as she's summoning that awesome wind. Now, okay, so this is where the harm thing comes in. My leg puncture, will that affect my grenade throwing skills?
No.
No? What about my arm laceration from a long time ago?
What if you use your other arm?
I just gonna use my other arm.
You got 2 of them for
It
a
was
reason.
on my left, I believe. I am right-handed in real life, so I assume Tony is
Yeah,
too.
I would say that would probably affect it.
Okay, but that just means less effect.
You're right.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so this would be a
6.
risky position for standard effect reduced to limited effect. So you got a 6, which means you succeed without a consequence. And you huck this grenade through the door. As Kavlov is closing it, there's like the whistling of wind as you're trying to close a door against like air pressure. And you manage to close the door as Tony just hucks the grenade through. And a few seconds later, you hear an explosion. And yeah, that's gonna tick some clock
Let's go!
on the guards. Yeah, there are a few more bullets that crack into the other side of the door, but it is solid stone. And you see that kind of Crick pulls you back and takes a look at where you got hit, and then is like, you'll be fine.
I put a little tourniquet on there. Like,
On his
we're
chest?
No,
chest
I thought it was his arm. Never mind. All around, reaching around. Oh man.
If you cut off the blood flow to the heart, then the
It'll be fine.
Kavlov,
It'll be fine.
You're so fetching with that snatched waist.
It's like a body con. Like,
all right, Crick, you and your boys, you got the guns.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you guys to rush in there. Spark, is there any fog you can do in there? Is there any kind of
I've got one more on me.
Tony? You have any more smoke bombs?
I have smoke bombs.
You have smoke bombs?
I have smoke bombs.
All right, maybe you do that,
Yeah.
and then Crick, I need you and your boys to go in and lay down cover fire.
Sounds like a plan. Stock up lots.
And they kind of get ready on the side of the door where it opens, ready to kind of rush in, guns blazing.
And can I use that as a command?
You absolutely
to command
can.
my
Yep.
cohort. That's a 6.
Nice.
I don't know if I need to do any, like roll anything, but I'm gonna try to send out a smoke bomb right before they go out, like as the door is opening.
Yeah, so you can do it in a way that Kavlov cracks the door
Yep.
and some gunshots smack into it and send a bit of chips of stone
Yeah.
flying, but you're not in a position where you could be shot.
Yep.
And you toss the smoke bomb in, you hear it and start filling the area with this thick, acrid smoke, and you hear a few of them coughing, and then Kavlov rips open the door, and they're tier 1, but they get extra effects, right? So this would be a risky position at standard effect for them. That's a 3.
Okay.
So they fail.
Ouchie.
But because they have this extra effect, they manage to go in there, and there's the sound of gunfire, and you really can't see anything even if you look through the door because of the smoke hazing around in there. And then you hear,
All right, it's all clear in here. Though I think one of them got away into a door.
your cohort is going to take another wound, which they could absorb with their 1 extra armor that you give for commanding them.
Yes. Kavlov is gonna get up. He's a little in
I'll
pain.
bandage you up. It won't
Yeah.
like actually do any healing, but at least you're not bleeding
Gunshot
out.
in the chest kind of hurts.
It does.
But he's running on some pretty intense adrenaline right now.
Yeah, it kind of smashed through your armor, because you
Yeah.
do have armor on, but it smashed through your armor.
Yeah.
And
it's not like it
and
hit an
still hurt
organ,
you.
but it's
Yeah,
embedded pretty deep.
These plants. They're just
I blew
sitting
them
here.
up.
The tree does have a large chunk missing out of it from the grenade that went off, and you see that there's like glowing sap bleeding from its wound. You walk into this room and you see that there is a set of double doors in front of you that actually resemble the dark wooden doors of the back door that you tore down. You see that off to the left there is a door and a window, and you see that within that window it appears to be thick glass, so your view is a little bit distorted, but there is movement in that room, but it looks to be a pretty small room. Off to your right side, you see that there is not exactly a door, but kind of that. It's an elevator shaft with that cage that will open and close.
Yeah.
And currently it is empty. So there's just like a gate in front of it.
Okay.
What's everyone's first thoughts? Which door?
What's the compass pointing at?
Oh yeah, she's
The
right
compass is
underneath
being
us.
a little hard to read
Fair enough.
in that it, as you walk around the room, it's changing direction.
Oh shit, this is another magic room, isn't it?
I think all the rooms are magic.
Or she's under us.
Well, we see movement in one of the rooms. It's probably where the extra guard is.
Yeah,
we should
take that
kill
guy out.
him. You should kill him.
We
No, you should start your kill count.
or do you want to talk to him?
Oh.
He could tell us where they are, maybe. Torture.
Why don't we just make an attempt at like nabbing him, and then we can figure out what to do from there?
Hey, you know what? If you can try to draw him out,
Oh shit.
I'll disarm him.
Sounds good.
We saw him in one of the rooms, right?
Yeah, you walk up to this room off to the left, and looking through this like thick glass, there is a kind of a locked metal door. It appears to be just a small room, and you see that there is some kind of equipment like built into the desk that's in front of the window. It looks like a security station. And there's one guy in there and you just hear faint yelling as he's like pointing a pistol at anyone that walks up to the glass, but you're fairly confident that this glass would be thick enough to stop a bullet.
Would it be assisting you for your role to disarm him, or would
A setup.
We're going to have the lamp blacks go up and station
yeah,
in
good idea.
gunfire row.
yeah.
Just like how they did
You are
with
going to
Story.
talk to this guy
Yeah.
and convince him to put his gun down. And I am going to start breaking this glass until he decides that, he's probably fucked if he doesn't surrender.
Can he hear me through the glass?
It's very faint.
Okay.
So having a conversation would be very difficult. You'd have to like scream through it.
So you're gonna try to intimidate him, and I'm gonna try to convince him to come out.
Yeah.
Would it be just better if I just go in alone and then you just take him out as a
Well, what if he
to serve as
shoots
a
you when you
distraction?
go in alone?
We can, we don't have a limit on how many rolls we can make.
Okay, yeah,
It's just that every roll you also risk a consequence.
that's fair.
Right.
So who's doing what?
I think maybe we send you in to
Yeah,
get him to surrender.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stand out here with the lamp blacks and where he can very clearly see us through the window.
yeah.
And
Guns trained at the door.
I think Kavlov is going to hit the glass once with his hammer to try to crack it,
Sure.
just to show that he can break it down and that he's outgunned.
Would you be rolling rec for that? Because I'm imagining this would be a setup action, and then if you
Yes.
succeed, you would give +1 effect level or improved position to Abby for her roll.
I'm going to roll rec for this.
Sure.
Because this is like, I don't want to hit it hard enough to break it on the first try, but
Yeah,
I also want to put a
you
crack in it.
imagine that it would be a heck of a hit for you
Yeah.
to like smash this whole window at the
And
first try.
this is
The
a
security glass.
fine heavy weapon. So
Yeah.
it's
So you get is that bonus effect?
increased
Potency?
potency for
When
you would
comes to
think it would
force.
matter.
Yeah. I'd say you're in a controlled position, and this will be for greater effect.
Okay. 5.
I'm just gonna tick that clock again.
Uh-oh. Nothing special. It's the
Just
you'll
time
see in a
passing.
bleeding out clock.
It's time passing, which is relevant to something.
Probably some ritual.
Oh yeah, probably the ritual.
Yeah, you go up there and you kind of toss your hammer in your hand, and then you give just one big wham, and there's a crack and like a big spider web crack in the glass, and he kind of jumps back, and you definitely succeeded in. I think his gun goes off, and like you see like not right where you were or anything. It wasn't that accurate. It was just like you slammed the glass and he's just shot. And then you see him kind of desperately like opening the breech of his pistol and looking for a new cartridge to load in.
So in that moment that he's trying to reload, I'm going to swing the door open.
So the door into that room is locked.
Oh,
It is a security
okay.
door.
Tony.
Oh, that's my thing. I'm gonna go up. I'm gonna get my.
We don't have enough time, I think, before he reloads his gun.
Well, she's probably doing this while Kavlov's
because
like,
you would have
breaking
known
in.
this would be an
Okay, okay.
obstacle.
Trying to
So this
find
is all
something in the
kind of
playbook.
simultaneous.
All right, I'm going to go up and try to pick the lock with my burglary gear. 6.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, which means it is open for that moment while he is still attempting to reload.
Sweet.
I'm just going to yell. I'm going to sway, roll that action.
Sure, yeah. So Tony just kind of steps back, gestures to the door. It is unlocked.
Just going to yell in, is this really worth losing your life?
Okay, go ahead and roll sway. And
Is this increased effect?
Would you like one extra die or better effect? Because you're in a risky position.
Better effect.
With a standard effect.
Better effect.
Normally, so you're going to have greater effect.
Yeah.
Okay.
4.
Yeah. Open this door and you call that out to him, and he says, "Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Yep, you know what? All right." And he comes out. He has like the thumb guard of or the trigger guard of his pistol around his thumb, as he kind of like pokes his hands around the corner and then follows them. And he's like, "Please don't kill me, please. I am surrendering. There are a lot of you. I do not want to die."
He's being genuine, right?
Yes, he's okay. No, he wants to die. No, he's telling the truth for sure.
You want to come out here?
We're all friends here.
And that's extra effect. So what I'm going to do is, I think that also ticks this clock. This one's a good clock.
Just so you guys know, we have no idea what these clocks are. So
I bet they mean nothing, and he's just fucking
I will
with
tell
us.
you what this one is. This guy's resolve.
Okay.
So you have ticked 3 of 6 ticks in his on his resolve by the show of force, and then Yagoda's convincing line. And he's kind of like he just has his hands out and he's like ready to. He's like stepping out into like the doorway that you're standing in front of.
Tony, why don't you go in and make sure you didn't set off any alarms? Go figure that out.
All right, I'm gonna go in.
Sure.
And just make sure that nothing. What's in the room? Like, is there any way he could have alerted anyone else? That's what we're looking for.
There is like controls here, levers and bulbs, and actually they might be labeled. Go ahead and roll a fortune roll for me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say roll 2 dice.
Okay. 1 and a 3.
Okay, they are not labeled.
Damn.
But there's a bunch of devices here. It looks like this is connected, like hardwired to other things in this place.
Okay. What's the move here? Destroy it?
maybe take a closer look with the study.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna try to figure out what exactly the purpose of this like motherboard here is. You know, like whatever. So I'm gonna study it.
Go ahead and roll. You are in a controlled position for standard effect.
5.
You like this?
5.
I'm just trying to figure out like maybe some of the buttons.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be.
If there's any, like, what way,
I think the consequence is going to be reduced effect, which means instead of figuring all of this out, you've only figured some of it out.
Okay.
But remind me that you did succeed on that.
Yes, I succeeded.
Because for the sake of continuity, what is everyone else doing and what is Yagoda doing with this guy as Tony is going in there and studying?
Give me your gun.
Yes, of course. Here. And he just kind of holds it out. You take it off his hand. He failed to reload it in time.
Oh, I have all this extra rope. What a coincidence. Here you go, Kavlov. Can you please tie him up?
Of course I can. Say, were you the asshole who shot me in the chest?
Nope. That was one of these guys. And he just kind of nods at the, like, group. There's, like, scattered around the room. One of them's actually in the branches of the tree, blown there by the wind. Some of them, like, taken apart by that grenade. There's, like, a handful of dead bodies here that, you know, the ones that weren't killed by the grenade and the wind were killed by Crick and his guys.
Oh, buddy, my friend here, she can tell when somebody's lying, so...
I swear I was in this room the entire time.
I take his hands and, like, put them
and he
his
is
back.
telling the truth.
Okay.
And I start...
That's the rules. There always has to be someone in here, and this is my shift.
At this point, Spark is probably going to try seeing if she can see anything weird in this room as well, because...
In, like, the...
Like, in an arcane way. Like how we were being affected before. Or
in the security station or in the foyer?
In the foyer.
Study or are you vibe checking with a tune?
Well...
That's really what a tune is.
Vibe checking with a tune is bad right now, so...
yeah, you would have reduced effect. But you do have the spirit mask, which would give you, like...
Standard?
Like regular. So you would have your controlled position for standard effect.
I'm vibe checking this room. That's a 4.
Cool.
And why are we rolling so many 4s?
I know.
Very average night.
Oh.
Slightly above.
Okay, I think that kind of maybe you like pull the mask back down, and or have you had it on the entire time, or do you take it off? Because I imagine it does kind of affect the way you perceive reality too, because it's kind of overlaid ghost field and supernatural energies on the real world, which is like putting on an AR headset and just having a whole bunch of pop-ups all the time, so it can get distracting. Is that something you're keeping on, or it's going off and on?
I think she's had it on the entire time. She's had practice using it, so it's like, unless it's like on for a very long time, then like she'll get like eye strain. But like it's always been on since she's been in this house.
Yeah, you kind of really focus. You've been feeling this low humming kind of underneath the radar, and then as you kind of drill down and focus, you like hear it, and then it's like rising in like I don't know if timbre is the right word. It's rising in intensity and it's
Amplitude.
growing and growing and growing. And then you are kind of are like, okay, what's going on here? And then you look around this room and there's nothing obvious here. Like this room itself, you do see that there are some runes on the inside of this door. They're actually very reminiscent of the same runes that you saw on the inside of the back door that you entered through. You don't see anything other than that in this room. And these runes at this point seem to be like inactive. Or it's weird. It's almost like they're an echo of the runes you saw on the other door, but they're not really here. They just kind of like match up. But this low humming is not here. It's somewhere else. And you feel it kind of happening actually deep below you in the pit of your stomach. And it rises to this crescendo as you're like, what's going on here? And then you feel yourself just kind of rocked as if a wave crashed into you, as there's the familiar sensation of a ritual concluding. As
Concluding?
you feel like energy happening to be released beneath you.
Yeah.
Different flavor than the ritual that was happening before. Something about it feels more like an undertow pulling you in than wave crashing you backwards. Like the last one like pushed you backwards as they were like reaching out and trying to pull in. This one is more like reaching in and trying to pull out. But the specifics of that you're not sure about. You just know that like, oh, and then you kind of feel that it almost kind of rushes up the elevator shaft on the other side of this room, and just the energy hits you.
We gotta go down. It go down.
But yeah, you see that there is like a gate in front of what you assume to be an elevator shaft, but there is no elevator. It's just kind of a black hole and then like down. It's like an open shaft beyond this gate.
I think while Spark is doing this, she thinks she's standing still, but when you look at her, she's like teetering back and forth until like maybe one of you guys ask her what the fuck she's doing, and then she'll probably explain what she felt.
Yeah, you're like resisting the push of the waves and the tug of the undertow. And Tony.
Yes.
Elevator button.
I'm wondering like how to decide which portion of this control panel
what
that
I was
you understand.
looking for specifically was like if there was some way he was contacting other people or calling for backup.
Okay. If that is what you're looking for, that is what you find.
Okay.
So you find that there are 2 levers and one of them has been pulled down. And as you kind of reach out and you touch this lever, you feel something connected to it, and you feel kind of a hum that's happening that you can kind of hear in the back of your mind. And then you pull out the device that you had prepared and that you attuned to Sparky.
Yep.
And you kind of sense that it is the same frequency.
Thing. Okay,
so this is the lever that there's probably like a ground wire that runs under the ground to Sparky's
Sparky.
shed. And that is what he has called for help. There's another lever right next to that, looks about the same, that has not been pulled.
Okay, so this is the command center where somebody's controlling him.
You can signal Sparky
from here.
I want to... It's just like it rings a bell in his shed.
Okay, I want to destroy it. I want to be the only one who can control Sparky.
Okay. It's not necessarily true, because if somebody has another device like yours attuned to Sparky's frequency, could happen.
Yeah.
But you can definitely destroy this...
I would like to.
Thing that would make it impossible for somebody to contact Sparky's shed.
Yep.
Sure. You can... It's you just take the lever off.
Okay.
And like disassemble it, and that's easy for you to do.
Fair enough.
If you know where she is, then we need to go.
Oh, we don't know how to get down there.
Jump.
We're not jumping.
Hey.
Maybe provide some info.
Yeah. What's your name on the ground? You?
I'm Captain Landon.
He's tied up.
Okay. I'm Captain Landon.
Hey, he's our guy.
I put my hands up, and then they corrected me.
This is Kavlov. We have this whole shtick where he breaks your fingers.
Nice to meet you, sir.
He breaks your fingers.
Likewise.
I prefer for that not to happen.
And you answer my questions.
You can just skip to the question asking part.
Because we're in a rush, so we're on the same level, right? We understand
You're
each
wasting
other
time, Yagoda. He's gonna tell us.
How do we get downstairs?
The elevator.
Is there a secret button to press the elevator, or do we just press the button?
No, I'd like to answer your questions. However, when you are all inevitably killed, I would also like to keep my job.
Okay, I'm going to pause you. Kavlov, this is where you come in.
All right, friend. Have you ever heard of a Skovlon haircut?
Yep. Can you do one of those with a sledgehammer?
No, but I can give my best shot with my bare hands.
Oh, that's
I'm going to... Is he wearing a helmet?
probably not, no.
Okay. I'm going to grab him by...
He's wearing a uniform. The other guys may have been wearing armor, but...
I'm going to grab him by his hair. And put my other hand on, like, the back of his neck, and I'm going to start to pull.
Okay, and this is
and peel it back.
Is this a command?
Yes, this is going to be a command.
All right. I would say you're in a controlled position for this. I mean, I think just the situation is probably going to give you greater effect because he's surrounded and he's the only one left alive. The only thing kind of keeping him here is like, this is a really bad situation for him. He'd like to keep his job, so he is resisting a bit, but I'm giving you greater effect.
5.
I think you have to rip his hair out for him to tell you.
Okay, yeah.
Glorious.
So there's a large bald spot now bleeding on the back of this guy's head. Well, a little bit more than bald. And he goes, "Oh, fuck you. Fuck. Okay, fuck, I'll tell you.
Oh, but we were just getting started.
I thought you were going to just threaten me first. You did the full, oh, fuck.
Listen, I tried to warn you. I literally asked you if this was worth risking. Like, come on, just get over it.
Okay. I can show you the controls. It's in the station. Oh.
Which button
Get
do
me
I
up.
press?
Get me. I'll show you. They're not labeled.
I help him
Describe it to me.
up and lead him into the control
He
room.
kind of like gestures at one with his nose. It's kind of a button and lever combo, and he's like, you have to press that down and then move it from the lowered position to the raised position. Oh shit, this hurts so much.
I tried to tell him.
I pour a little
did.
like whiskey or something on the back. I probably have that. It's helping it. It's helping it. I promise. I'm a doctor. No. It's cleaning it out. It's
You just salted his wound.
It's good. No. It's cleaning it out from any infection. I don't want you to get an infection. I've had like 3. So
Still do actually.
yeah, I have 3. I don't want to talk about it.
But yeah, you now know how to work the elevator controls.
Let's get this elevator working and let's get going.
Does someone need to stay up here?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Sure.
We could always leave like the Skovlander.
Landon, do you want to stay up here? Just make sure nobody comes down.
No, we can
You
come
get us
with
now,
us.
right?
I'm in so much
You want to
pain.
go home? You want to go home, buddy? Let's say you home.
I could use a lie down.
Okay, knock him out.
Yeah, he just sprawls across the floor.
Kiss
What
him
a
on
nice-
his forehead.
Yeah. What a nice guy. Mwah.
Just leave the red lipstick on his forehead.
And we go down.
Hey, go down.
Yeah. You wait probably not more than a minute for the elevator to arrive, and you see that the way it functions is there are 4 like rails on each corner, one on each corner of the elevator with teeth on them, and there are like 2 sets of gears on the top and bottom corners of the elevator that are like, it's a electroplasmic powered elevator. The motor's on the elevator itself, and it just basically crawls up this shaft and then arrives with a little ding.
All right, we've learned our lesson. Stay back on the walls. Crick, you and your boys be ready just in case.
You do see that while there are walls to this, like it is a grate kind of deal.
Okay.
Like
Ooh.
there's like think of an old elevator where you have that like, you know what I mean? It's like a scissor,
yeah, I know
a
what you
scissor
mean.
gate.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the I think it's probably just like poles, like a railing. It's basically a cage.
Yeah.
There's like 2, one at like knee height and one at chest height.
Yeah.
then there's the gate. So you will, as you go down this shaft, you have to do that thing in video games where you don't actually have real life FOV. So I always get nervous because I never know which side of the elevator is going to open. So there's like a gate on this side, gate on the other
Luckily,
side.
there's 4 of us. We all post at a gate.
And then there's a lot more than 4 of you.
Oh, damn. Well, yeah,
if you're
we got
taking
the whole
Crick and the
gang.
Skovlander with you.
And the dead
Well,
one.
everyone be ready.
Yep.
Get your guns ready.
It'll be cramped, but everyone could fit.
Yeah.
You step into this elevator and realize that somebody
Someone has to activate it. Send the Skovlander back up. He's got
You know what?
a body with him, like
What's this guy's name?
John.
Sedwin.
Sedwin.
You kick him awake.
You stay behind. You watch this guard take care of him. Referencing the dead body.
You got it.
Also, if he gets a little mouthy,
The dead body, that is.
if he gets a little mouthy, don't be afraid to finish the haircut.
Never actually done one in person before.
Yeah, this was very prominent in Western Skovland. Tribal war.
I love learning all this
Crazy.
anthropology.
I like it.
history.
I think at this point, as you're shaking hands in the background, Crick just kind of turns over to Spark and like just rubs the stubble on his head, and he's like,
That's why I keep mine closely shaved. I had one too many dust-ups with a Skovlander.
They get longer than that?
No, my hair, not the horn.
He shaves his horns.
She doesn't know.
No, I do have hair. I've got a few scars, but none of them are from that because I learned my lesson.
Wait, how long is his hair?
it's stubble.
Oh, I thought he was bald this entire time.
He basically,
Okay,
he has
okay.
like a shaved
Oh,
head.
okay.
And he does have like a big knotty scar on part of his head where it doesn't grow, but yeah.
I think you'd look great with like a mohawk right between the horns, you know?
Don't listen to her.
He's flipping through his notebook.
I'm flipping. I have to find what episode was this?
The crick irritation.
Episode 3, Crick's nerves. Doing another tick.
Halfway there.
Halfway there, baby.
Halfway there.
That's my long-term project.
Make Crick have a meltdown.
All right, let's head down then.
And yeah, you leave this Skovlander. He kind of takes up residence in the security office where there's, cover and a door to use. And he kind of sets up there. All of the Crimson Wake, except Sebastian, get into this elevator and begin descending as the Skovlander moves the lever. And with a lurch, you begin descending as these gears turn as you descend. You descend from like worked stone into rough rock, and then you go through about 10 feet of rough rock, and then you emerge as the area around the elevator opens up into a cavern. You're about the ceiling of the cavern where it opens up from the elevator shaft is about 30 feet from the ground, so you are approaching it, but this elevator is kind of slow, so you have at least a few seconds to kind of take in the scene before you. You see that there are some kind of stalactites and stalagmites that almost create a wall dividing this half of the cavern from the other half, but as you descend the elevator, you can see through the gap in the middle of those stalactites and stalagmites. There is a dimly lit ritual circle, a 7-pointed star, and standing around that circle are 7 hooded figures. And they are looking at what appears to be, Spark, you recognize a sizable spirit bottle. Like one that is designed for holding multiple spirits, not just one. And you know that that's messy because when you combine spirits, they start to blend into one another. And so this might be used just for like selling pure kind of spirit energy, or it could be through like very skillful means distilled into life essence. But you see that there are 7 people, and as you kind of are descending, you see them being called over to at the far end of the cavern. You see that there's like a opening in the wall, a jagged kind of crack, and coming through it is a like body of water. And you see that there are several figures. There are 4 figures who are kind of calling and leading these hooded figures away from the ritual circle to a boat. There is one boat that appears to be like a steam boat or some kind of electroplasmically powered boat, and it is like towing just an open kind of basic boat there. And you see that there's somebody kind of calling over, and it's weird because as you're watching, the way that these hooded figures move is they're just kind of like slumped down. They're not looking around. They're not paying too much attention. They're just kind of walking, trudging along, and slowly being organized. And you see one person is actually like having to tell them where to sit in the boat. Then you see in the front boat that is kind of pulling this, there is a figure standing tall at the helm. There is another figure just kind of slumped, leaning on one side of the boat. And then on the other side of the boat in a seat, there is another figure sitting. And this one you see very clearly is not currently wearing a hood and has red hair streaked with silver. And you see that they are being directed, and let me see. I'm going to roll a fortune roll. There's a sensation of warmth on the side of your face, Kavlov.
Oh, no.
And you just kind of like touch, and you see your fingers come away red, and you turn and you see that one of Crick's guys falls to the ground as he has been shot through the head.
Oh.
And a split second later, you hear the sound of a high-powered rifle shot.
Oh, fuck,
no.
get down.
And you see one of the figures on the boat, the one who is leaning, now, just as you like descend below the stalagmites, and you see that they are kind of raising a scoped rifle, and then as they kind of lower it to see if their shot landed, you recognize this person too. This is your old pal Mercy.
Oh shit, it was him!
It's a boss battle.
Who was
like the health bar on top.
this was a point of contention while you were working together that you should have acted on sooner in retrospect. You know that Mercy was a sniper for the Imperium during the Unity War. Or that's something you found out. That's probably something you found out after the fact.
Yeah.
But
So I probably did some digging.
yeah, she was kind of an assassin where she would target leaders as a sniper during the Unity War for the Imperium. Mm-hmm. And then you kind of reach the bottom and the gate unlocks and you're able to kind of pile out as Crick and his guys are, they freak out and everybody takes cover as another shot kind of chips a bit of rock off one of these stalagmites. And then Crick pulls open the gate of the elevator, and this wall of rock of stalagmites blocks you from basically everything you saw on the way down, but also protects you from sniper fire. What do you do?
Run.
I'm running. Nope, not yet, because that's not where she can see us. There's an opening.
Yes, but we're going to run.
We're going to run towards that opening, but not in front of it.
So you're not going to come around the wall of stalagmites.
Nope.
Into
We're going to
view
run up
yet.
you can see the map.
Yeah, you're
right
just
up there.
covering ground. Okay, that sounds like a group prowl check.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
It just sounds like we can do it with no problem.
You would be able to do it with no problem
Roll
if
sway on
you
the
were
GM.
just taking your time.
Who has the least stress right now and is...
Not me.
Or you don't have to do that.
Oh.
That's an option.
That's an option.
You could do that and then the highest result would prevail, or everybody could just go on their own time. But if you're trying to make time, you'd need to roll prowl. or something to get you there faster.
Okay, who needs to get to that mouth right now?
Tony.
I do.
I think it's Tony and Yagoda running up to the mouth. Yagoda takes a look, figures out her weakness, potentially.
Yeah, we're gonna try to survey
Well,
her.
don't tell me about it. Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
we're
we're
gonna
doing
do
So
that.
Tony and Yagoda tear up, and they're trying to
Yeah.
get there and do some observation first. So
Yeah.
are you guys rolling prowl?
I am.
All right, this is a risky situation for standard effect.
Oh, prowl. Okay. 4.
4.
Oh my god.
Okay, so a success
Wait.
with.
Oh, okay.
I take the
Yeah.
lowest. Yeah.
Are you guys trying to close distance too, or are you just waiting and kind
Follow
of taking your
slowly
time as you
behind?
jog up?
I think Kavlov is stunned for a long moment.
Okay.
Wake him up.
Yeah, so as the girls are like having this like sister telepathy and like, okay, we need to gather information, and then Tony shows like her plan or like the device she plans on using. You guys rush ahead to go get to this vantage point. And as the like Crick and his guys also kind of pile out and begin moving up behind you guys, ready to rush around the wall. But I think Spark, you being kind of just hiding in the corner is like your vibe, or like bringing up
Yeah.
the rear, not hiding in the corner, but you see Kavlov is just kind of standing there, blood spattered on his face.
She kind of she's usually kind of gentle towards you and just shakes you, but this time she like smacks you hard on the back to like be like, hey, like we need to go. And if that doesn't work one time, she does it again until he reacts.
I think it takes like the third smack
Yeah.
for him to snap out of it. You almost see in his face and in his eyes, this isn't the making crude jokes Kavlov. This is in his eyes, this is almost feral. Like this is a Kavlov you haven't seen before. And I think Kavlov takes off as fast as he can.
Oh, fuck. You're gonna ruin the whole thing, man.
Okay. But there was that moment of hesitation.
Yes.
And what I'm going to say is that the consequence for your 4s is that instead of being in a controlled position where you're just peeking out from behind cover, you're trying to do this as fast as you can. And so
Yep.
you're going to be a little bit more obvious.
Fair enough.
And so you're dropping to a risky position.
Okay.
So you reach the stalagmites, and Yagoda, you are trying to
Survey.
survey. And what is your purpose in surveying? What are you trying to do? Just get a better handle on the situation?
Trying to find her weakness.
Okay, you want
Weakness in this little situation. Yeah.
Sure.
4. It was so good knowing
I'm going to say
guys.
reduced effect. You are too
did not
far
work.
across this cavern to really like look into her eyes and survey her body. But you look over, you see her lining up another shot. She sees that you're down now, shifts, and you duck back as part of the stalagmite in front of you just shatters as there's, rock chips cut, one of your cheeks as they go flying past.
I duck. I tried to block the rock chips so her face does not get
I
injured.
dive in front of the rock, not the bullet, the rock chips.
Nope, the rock. Don't worry, Yagoda.
And you don't get a super detailed insight into her. The consequence is reduced effect. However, you realize, she's running a bolt-action rifle, which means that there's maybe half a second between each shot.
Okay.
Which means that if you just rush her with a wall of bodies, she can't shoot everyone.
Yep. All right, I'm gonna send out a smoke bomb after that happens, and we know that just to reduce visibility
Sure.
while as everybody else comes in.
To try and get the most effect out of your smoke bomb, what action are you using?
Study to make sure I can put it in the most ideal spot in this cavern to
Sure.
create the most least visibility in front of where we're going to head through.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
All right.
I just don't know what we're going to come up against. Okay.
6.
Yeah.
Your
My smoke
things are
bombs.
tier 1.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, so they're better.
Yeah.
So the magnitude of a tier 1
It's
or
enough.
the area of something tier 1 is the size of a small room.
Okay.
If you have tier 2 smoke bombs, they're the size of a large room. Tier 3, they could be the size of several rooms. The magnitude scale is very cool because it allows you to process a lot of things through it. If you get up all the
day
way to
my fog
tier
will be- or
6
my
blocks,
smoke bombs
and
will be
you
just as
actually,
good.
it would probably be you have to create it,
Yeah.
but you could create a smoke bomb that envelops a city block. smoke.
That's awesome.
Bro, nice mod.
Just a big.
It's not a smoke
big
bomb.
garden
Cloud,
vape,
bro.
It's not a smoke bomb. It's just Tony smoking. Like
vaping, specifically vaping.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, we'll
Yeah, she
see
quits
where
eventually.
Tony invents a vaping.
Yeah.
Oh man.
CBD
Yeah.
10.
Did you roll your study yet?
Yeah, I got a 6.
You got a 6. Nice.
6 and a 1. Those are my dice.
Yeah. Well, you realize that the ideal position would be blocking Mercy's view. She's in the boat right now.
Yeah.
Of your approach. So you probably put it on the edge of the water that's closest to you.
Yeah,
And
and
as
roll it
close
out
to
there.
her as possible. Yeah, right about there.
I'm able to get it there. I guess I can roll it as it's
the
smoking.
cavern isn't that
Okay.
huge.
Okay.
We're using a paper map to help
Yeah.
our players know what the heck is going on
Yeah.
and not everybody
Describe a
get
room.
lost and confused about the
okay.
shape of the room.
Okay. It's enough to at least possibly reduce, some
And yeah,
fatalities later on.
you are like, okay, that's the ideal position. You kind of you do like the trigonometry in
Yeah.
your head, and then you launch it, and it lands exactly where you were hoping it would, and begins to fill that area with smoke. You give it, a couple seconds before everybody rushes out, so the smoke can like fill the area that it's going to fill. But then you know that Mercy will have to relocate, and you'll at least have a few seconds where you can move without being spotted.
Yep.
What do you do?
Yeah, he's running straight for this boat.
Yeah.
This happening as the smoke is filling up.
Are you commanding a cohort, or is anyone going to command the cohort to assist? Because they're kind of like waiting, ready to go. But
Did you
unless
say
somebody
anything,
tells
or do
them
you want us
go
to take
do
over?
something.
All right.
No.
At this point, I feel like I guess we're going then. you just like zoom past us. We're like,
Yeah.
So Spark was in the elevator with Kavlov, so she's not there yet. She's still running to catch up, and I think when she sees Kavlov just book it right through, she's gonna yell out, "Cover fire" for Kavlov, and then she's gonna point at the dudes.
Yeah, so you're just
Yeah.
sending them to do this. You're
Yeah.
not like actively commanding them as their leader.
Yeah.
Okay. So they will roll and see how effective they are with cover fire. And this will be a setup basically to
Okay.
give one extra die or increase effect of whatever you're trying to do.
Okay.
4. Yeah, I think the cohort is going to take 1 harm.
Okay.
If they take 1 harm, they have reduced effect. So as they are laying down covering fire, bullets whipping through the smoke, kind of targeting, like honing in on just where the bullets are coming from, which is very hard to do in a cave, or just firing at where she thinks they would be with her tactical knowledge.
Yeah.
She ends up dropping 2 more of Crick's guys
All right.
through the smoke. But as that is happening, that assists Kavlov and maybe the rest of you in closing that distance. Is everybody charging?
not exactly. So here's our thought: we go around and try to get to the boat, try to get to Yelsena, while you guys just kill.
Okay, so
everyone.
you're coming
or you
around
could come
that
with
wall
us
of
if you want.
stalagmites and heading right
Yeah.
to go.
Sparks.
Yeah.
Spark's
And
worried
hiding.
about this box.
You want to come with us?
I think she's gonna head for the box instead.
Okay.
And try to
makes sense.
make sure it doesn't come undone. Because
enough.
if that comes undone, we're all fucked. Kind
So
of thing.
Kavlov is running directly into the smoke, directly at the direction of the boat. You guys are trying to sneak around.
we're trying to sneak around.
At least flank the boat a little
Flanking,
bit.
yep.
Yeah.
Can everyone
And
prowl?
Spark is going
Yeah.
for that. Yeah, what actions are you guys using?
What about
Survey?
survey to figure out the best path to take
to avoid
avoid-
gunfire.
gunfire through the stalagmite?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would definitely allow that.
Nice. Cheers.
5.
5.
Ooh, that's a 6. That's a
Nice.
6.
Nice,
oh my
guys.
god,
And
I'm shaking.
you're prowling?
Yeah, I'm prowling.
Cool.
So I'm fucking just sneaking off to the side, knowing
We're
that
like,
everything else is happening over
Yeah,
there.
this is a wild situation for the Stanchik sisters to find themselves in.
Oh, yeah.
And so as they are like, okay,
We're like, what
we
the
need to be
fuck?
not where people are shooting guns and not where people are getting shot at by guns. And so you're kind of like moving through, and I think you probably actually are like, running out there is a bad idea, and you start like cutting through the wall of stalagmites, kind
Yeah.
of moving in
Trying
between
to
them
get
because
to
that
some
gives you
cover,
cover.
yeah.
But what it does is it slows you down.
Makes sense.
And so you kind of get out of the line of fire
Yeah.
and get out and you're moving towar's the boat, but you're
farther.
not all the way there yet.
Okay.
Not to mention Yugota's avoiding all of the puddles. as she's
Yeah,
running.
she can't get her shoes wet, all right? She's already taken
I can't run really fast in these heels. I should have picked a better outfit for tonight.
Oh, we were trying to
Spark
impress a guy.
puts her head down and just like a
Spider.
like a spider, just skitters over, and you kind of like slide to a stop using this massive spirit bottle as cover, and you see that it is 7 spirit bottles combined into one like entity, and you see kind of hanging around the outside of like the mouth of this are 7 medallions.
It's their souls.
And
literally
you
wrote
do
down.
kind of look up and you see that the last of these hooded figures has been loaded into the boat, and you see that you see a worn, world-weary looking guy covered in like faded tattoos who is currently standing up next to the boat chanting and flipping through a large book.
Can I fucking disrupt whatever they're trying to do?
Well, let's resolve Kavlov's
Okay.
roll. What
Yeah.
were you rolling? As you
Well,
charge through the smoke?
He's charging through the smoke, and is the boat leaving, or is it
Like the engine
it docked?
is running. You can't see it, but
Okay.
you would expect that it is about to.
Was it within range beforehand? Like if he were to try to jump to get on the boat?
Trailer boat with the hooded figures in it would be, yes.
Okay, so he's gonna try to leap and get on that.
Which is kind of connected by a cable to this other boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what action would you like to use?
What would this be?
What vibe is Kavlov giving off as he does this?
Pure anger and hatred.
So you're looking for a fight. That sounds like skirmish to me.
Yeah, because this is like
Is it less effect or minus 1d for your
minus
chest
1d.
wound?
So it's I'm rolling 2 for the skirmish roll. 3s.
3s. Oof.
Oh no! Oh no!
He lands in the water.
Oh, no. Splash.
Yeah, well, it's hard to tell where the water begins because you're running through a cloud of smoke. And you take a flying leap through the smoke. And as you're approaching, you hear kind of the engine of the boat engage. And what happens is you do a flying leap through the smoke and you land where that trailing boat was. And instead of being able to land on it or grab a hold of it, you just land in the water and you find yourself just slipping beneath the freezing cold black water that is brackish and smells horrible. All the canals in Duskwall smell terrible because they're full of pollution.
Yeah.
Except, actually, in Brightstone, it's better, but there is still just a nastiness that the whole city has. There's not like floating trash that you have to swim to, but you fall into this utterly cold water, and as you fall and plunge into this water, you open your eyes desperately looking for the boat. You saw it was just ahead of you, had started moving, and that's why you missed it. You look down and you see a massive glowing eye of a leviathan
That's not what I
beneath you.
expected. Okay.
Spark, what are you doing?
I was expecting like a pool of blood, but
Shit, I see it pulling away. What are you two doing?
we're still catching up.
Making their way around, still catching up. Yeah.
Grappling hook.
And
We have a grappling hook.
and I heard a splash in the water.
You see Kavlov jump through the cloud of smoke trailing and just miss the boat.
He slows down for a second.
Oh,
Yeah.
if I see Kavlov miss the boat,
Yeah,
Um,
and he drops out of view into the water.
shit. Kavlov will be fine. I think she's gonna focus on trying to figure out like how to stop this thing because she's very afraid of the power that this thing holds because one spirit is like bad enough.
Yeah.
7 spirits is kind of like crazy for us to be dealing with. So she's gonna use study, and she's gonna see what's the best way to disrupt whatever they're doing or like whatever ritual that they're trying to like do.
Sure, you're going to use study. I would also allow you to use attune to kind of sense what kind of arcane energies it is. It's just up to you.
But it would be less effect with my spirit burn, right?
Sure. Yeah. It would be standard effect because you're still
big
wearing the
mask.
spirit
Okay.
mask. Yeah.
Kavlov, you can swim, right?
Nope.
Oh, that's a 6. That's a 6.
Nice. You realize that what he is doing, you see him, he has the book open with hand, he flips through the pages, and then he reaches out his hand towards this spirit bottle that you're currently hiding behind, and it begins to like rattle.
Yeah.
And you actually see it as it's rattling, with your spirit mask, there's energy that's flowing out of it to him, and he's just using it as a battery, but you kind of recognize the start of things that you started to explore and what you're trying to do when you were summoning Caleb. You sense that he is trying to summon something using the battery of this spirit bottle.
She's gonna try to kind of grasp that tether and make it her own by like kind of disrupting that tether with her own arcane energy.
Like grab the cord and siphon the energy away from him.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like put a new connection in and then you take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You can
cool.
That's
absolutely
really
try to
sick.
do that. That seems like a tune to me.
That is, but should I push myself?
Are you gonna take a trauma?
No, but I can't. Because I only have
you won't
3.
be able to.
I won't be able to
We'll
help.
get the boat.
You'll get the boat? Okay.
We get the boat.
We got the boat. Have I reached her? Are we up there?
What's the devil's bargain?
I will give you 1 extra D.
Could I bump up my spirit burn back to a 2?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think taking your spirit burn and raising it back up to a level 2 harm, which then would cause you minus 1D.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense to me.
Okay.
So,
Okay, guys. Holy fuck. That's a 5.
okay.
Spirit
Bump it up to a level 3 spirit burn, baby.
And I mean, you said it yourself. I think this is a desperate situation. You're on
Yeah.
the brink of this boat getting away, and
XP.
whatever this summoning
Yeah.
is happening. So mark XP. I think what this means is you do, in fact, take that energy away from him, and he feels like the last of his kind of dwindle as he's looking at the big guy jump into the water, and then worrying about the guy, Crick's guys shooting at him through the smoke, and then he just realizes that his power source has gone dry, and he looks over, and you're standing there, and you have like grabbed onto this thing, and you're like, oh no, and
Yeah.
you are trying to like take this, and I think until you either let it go or get it under control by channeling it in some way, this is where you're going to be at. Like that, it takes all your concentration to maintain this. And as you're doing it, you feel like the one side of your body erupts in that spectral flame again, as you're like just channeling so much power. Well, and you're not even channeling it. You're just trying to like hold it in right now.
Yeah.
You're just trying to take it away from somebody else. And yeah, you feel like your hair stand up, and there in the ghost field we see the transparent fire erupt. What are the Stanchik sisters doing?
So what does Yogo to see?
Yeah, how far away is this boat? Like, is it within grappling hook distance?
As you kind of come out of the wall of stalagmites, you are between, because you ended up having to take the long way around. I
Yeah.
would say you're still between like 40 and 50 yards away.
God
or
damn
not, sorry, like 15 to 20 yards away.
If we
Okay, so
caught
we're,
up,
like, right here.
so we're
like
kind
50
of
to
by
60,
Spark.
40 to
Okay,
50
but we can
feet.
see the boats, and the boats are leaving.
And yeah, you see the boats are moving.
And then stop me if this is ever stupid, but
It's been stupid.
I'm
this
gonna
whole time.
flashback
Okay.
to preparing a disguise.
Interesting. A
Yes.
disguise of whom?
The hooded people.
It's just the hood.
Just the hood?
Yeah, just the hood. Like the hood, the hooded fit.
Sure.
The hood
Yeah.
is fat. It's a look.
And what are you attempting to achieve with this disguise?
Like basically persuade them to stop for just enough time for Kavlov to get onto the boat.
You have a hood. What do you do to kind of convince them that you're not just a person wearing a hood, but a hooded person? I think you don't even need a flashback, really. You just check off your disguise kit and you say, I have a hat. Or a hood.
And
And a medallion that looks
Yeah.
kind of
Similar.
like one of theirs.
okay, nice. I'm gonna step out from behind the stalagmites and like essentially just cause a distraction. Yeah. Stop. Like stop. Yeah. I don't care if this is gonna work or not. Like if they believe me, I literally just want them to hesitate for just a moment for Kavlov to get on the boat.
Kello's having like a
Kavlov just
traumatic
saw a
flashback
demon right now,
Okay.
but
you would be, you might be able to affect some of them. You would be specifically trying to target the guy piloting the boat. this would be a risky position with standard effect, and it would be reduced to 0 effect because of the motivations of this person and what they value and everything like that.
So that means I have to push myself.
You would have to push yourself to have limited effect.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, same number of dice, but you just get +1 effect, so you will have limited effect.
And I'm rolling 4 dice because of the disguise.
Cool. So you have 3 in
Sway.
and then 1 for your extra disguise.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my god.
It's a 3.
It's a 3.
Yeah.
Bruh.
1, 1,
That's
2, 3.
insane.
Shit.
You see that this man, and Tony, you recognize it as the man. In fact, you recognize both the man and the red-haired woman as the people who are getting into that carriage. He just kind of barely spares you a glance, but then Mercy sees a target standing in the open, and you are going to take a level 2 harm, gut shot.
That could be worse.
As you are you're like, hey, wait! And then you just see the sniper who is actively searching for targets just raise her rifle, and in slow motion you watch. It was only a risky position. Or was it desperate? What do you think sounds... I know what you want. You don't want it to be bad, but... I told Spark
like
it was a
desperate
desperate
This has
position.
been a pretty
You were
desperate
just trying to
position this
get them
whole
to
way
slow
through.
down just enough for Kavlov to get on. That sounds desperate to me. So it's actually going to be a level 3 harm gut shot.
And I can resist that
You can resist that.
using like a dice roll, right?
You would roll
Prowess.
prowess.
So 2
However
die.
many actions you have pips in prowess.
Oh my god.
And so
You
that
can
means
tell
how
us this.
many... I have 2 stress left over.
Okay, so if you roll 4 or lower, you take a trauma.
I'm gonna take the dice roll.
Okay. So how many
Gambler.
actions do you have pips in prowess?
2.
2. Okay.
So it's 4, 5, or 6, and I'm okay. It's a 50-50.
You have only 2 spots left.
Yeah.
Then you need a 5 or 6. Because
3% chance.
if you roll a 4, that means you take 2
This is your
stress.
lucky dice. You want it?
I'm gonna do it.
Oh no!
Is that a 4?
It's a 4.
All right. You try to resist, and you do manage to. You see this, and
still go
this is a
down.
surreal experience for Yagoda, because so far up to this point, gunfire has been happening. People have been shot, but nobody has shot at you. And you see this happening, and you're like, no, it couldn't be. And then you're like, oh, it could be. And then you try to get out of the way, and you manage to get to a point where it is not as bad as it could be. So it's only a level 2 harm.
But you do take a trauma. Shit, fuck.
Yeah, a level 2 harm gut shot. But as that happens, we see Yagoda just kind of stumble backward, looking down at a bullet hole in her stomach, the red of her blood staining the red of her dress.
Kind of iconic, actually.
And you just kind of stumble backward and like sit down in front of leaning against one of the stalagmites, and are like just mentally not capable of participating any longer. Tony, what are you doing?
Oh my god. Okay, so
You're a little bit farther forward.
still-
You see that happen.
and as this is happening, I am taking the climbing gear that I so conveniently brought and throwing a grappling hook onto the boat with Yelsena in it, as much as I can. I
That's
don't know
very
what,
far ahead.
am I able to? Am I able to get closer at all?
if you run up, there is a chance.
Okay, that's my goal.
It is this will be a desperate position
Yep. Don't know what I'm rolling yet.
for standard effect, whatever
Okay.
it is that you're. Well, that could change based on what you choose to roll.
She's mathematical. She's going to trigonometry this shit again. Try to get the perfect
Absolutely
angle.
a fan of that.
Okay.
Using int to make ranged attacks
Yep.
is so fun.
Yep. Okay. 5.
Nice.
5. Okay. You land this. You like swing it. You like swing it around in a circle, and you let this grappling hook fly, and you see it land in the lead boat, and you kind of pull it, and it tinks to the side. But then, as that happens, you see Mercy work
Yep.
the bolt, and take another shot at you. And as the consequence, you are going to take a level 3 harm shot shoulder.
Dang!
Which you can resist.
I'm also in the same position.
Wait, what's your load? What's your load at right now?
My loadout, I'm full now. My climbing gear, that was the rest of it.
Okay, I was gonna say if you had extra spot for
armor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing her sister on the ground, she's going to try to make sure she's standing and able to get to her after she catches this boat, because she's now just realized, as she's pulling back, she's like, oh shit, you know? And so I'm going to try to resist and...
Okay, I believe you're just rolling 1, because this would be a prowess to like muscle through a wound. So you're just rolling 1 die because you only have 1 hit
God.
Okay,
And it's
baby.
a 5 or a 6.
You need a 5 or a 6.
So it's the same situation.
Same situation
we're
with 1 less
gonna be
dice.
out.
Sister moment.
Sister moment.
And that's the same roll.
The same
The
dice.
same die, the same roll, the same family, both sisters traumatized.
God damn it.
As you also get shot, and like a high-powered rifle round going anywhere through your body is no joke. In fact, like you can feel bullets going past you, even if they don't hit you at this velocity. So when it strikes you, it's not just like being stabbed with a thin knife. It is sending massive shockwaves that are traumatizing your, like the entire region of your body that it hits. And you, the grappling hook is still hooked into the boat. The rope is trailing along behind it. But Tony does like a twirl with the impact of this bullet and falls face first onto the rock floor of this cavern.
God damn it.
Kavlov, what are you doing? You are beneath the waves looking down at the eye of Leviathan, ready to swallow you again, as you hear the engine of the boat moving away from you.
And you see a rope kind of flittering across the water.
Kavlov, after falling into the water, looking down and seeing this eye staring back at him, he's desperately trying to swim back up to the surface, but he's holding this hammer, which weighs a ton, more than he can muscle up.
And armor.
He can't, and he's struggling. And he eventually looks back down at the eye, like the lightning flashes from the day when he first encountered a Leviathan. These memories in his mind. And he stares down at it and reaches into his pocket, and he pulls out the lock of hair from Yelsina. And in that hand, he turns it around, and on the backside of his palm, he looks at the eye of the tattoo that he received. He lets the hair go and drift down, giving in to the reality of the situation that he's going to drown, and he's failed. He makes one desperate plea to this creature in his mind, reaches out and just says, help. And I would like to roll a tune.
Okay.
To ask this Leviathan for help.
Sure.
I will take a devil's bargain if you've got one for me.
Yeah, I think we are going to start a 4 o'clock. This will be a desperate roll with limited effect because you at this point are not somebody that a Leviathan would pay attention to necessarily, which is why limited effect. If you take the devil's bargain, I will give you 1 extra die, and we will start a 4 o'clock for you called Seduced by the Leviathan Song.
I will take it. 2 dice because I had 1 in a tune. I have no injuries that should affect a tuning.
Oh, it's
that's
cocked.
Yeah, roll it.
Because the first one's a 3. 4.
4. Okay. So go ahead and probably on your sheet, you can make that 4 o'clock. Seduced by the Leviathan Song. And I think we're going to do one tick.
I see Zach shaking.
I'm shaking. I'm shaking so hard.
And reaching out from the pupil of this eye, you see this group of tentacles wrapped together, and they grab your legs and pull you down. And you feel as you are pulled deeper and deeper, and then you fall once again through the eye of this Leviathan. And as you fall through the eye of the Leviathan, you fall into air, and you find yourself landing on the boat full of hooded figures, trailing the boat that Yelsina is on, with your hammer soaking wet.
Kavlov, standing there, looks up directly into the eyes of Mercy, and with hammer in hand and no life in his eyes, runs at her.
Imagine this would be skirmish?
Skirmish.
Okay.
I'm going to use my special armor to push myself via the Battleborn special ability to use the not to be trifled with special ability, pushing yourself to do one of the following: perform a feat of force that verges
On Inhuman?
on Inhuman.
Okay.
And he's going to leap from this boat to the other boat.
That gap is not that huge of a gap. So what I will apply this to is your attacks are with like verging on inhuman strength.
Yes. Yep.
So you will have extra effect or one extra die, your choice. Because this is a desperate position, and it'll be standard effect unless you want that ability to apply to greater effect of your skirmish.
You know what? I will take the greater effect and just roll 2 dice for this.
Okay.
4.
That is a success with a consequence. Spark, as you see Kavlov leaping, I'm going to resolve that in just a second. But Spark, you have the potential to do one more thing. You are currently tied up by this, and you're afraid if you let it go, you'll let whoever this man is regain control of it. But is there anything that you would like to do while you're channeling this awesome power?
Can I Palpatine the guy?
Lightning this fella, this other whisper.
I think all she knows is that the energy can't stay contained in her body, so she needs to like let it out, and how she's always let it out was to reach out and force it out, you know. And
I'm
then
just
that's
sitting there clapping.
Yeah,
That's all
and so
I can do.
I think while she has one hand connected to this thing, locking eyes with the dude who's like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And she's gonna reach out her hand and just like you see her reaching out for something, and then she closes her hand, and then she lets it go again. And I think just from her hand, just like she can't even aim it, like with how much power that she has.
It's just like an arc.
Yeah.
Like a cone almost of lightning.
Just at that guy, like specifically. So maybe like the latter half of the boat, kind of thing. So I think I'm gonna use my Tempest ability. I'm shaking now. I'm the one that's shaking. So I'll mark off 2 stress.
Oh boy.
And then can I roll a tune to see if I have extra effect?
You do, because you're channeling the spirit battery.
Okay.
However, as you grab this, you just channel this energy and let it out in this arc of lightning. He's able to see the energy charging, even though that is not visible in just the material realm. And you see him just kind of close the book and put his arms up in front of him, and you through your spirit mask see some of the tattoos on his arm jump up as like warding. And so it is not greater effect, but it is standard effect for this. And so let's see. But I think what happens is you strike him with lightning, and it like hits him and impacts him like lightning shouldn't. Like it doesn't have that physical force, but against his wards it does. And you send him flying, smoking completely across the water and into the wall on the other side.
And I think she's gonna shout.
Ultimate power.
No. She's also going to shout, but I think while she's channeling that much energy, her voice.
You didn't roll for that, did you? You just did the thing.
Yeah, I think she's letting it through like every part of her.
I think you should probably roll a tune.
Roll a tune? Okay.
Control this.
Oh. We will see. That's a 6.
Nice.
Yes.
6, baby. Okay.
Nice. Yeah. So you feel like you're just a channel for this energy, and you're like, oh no, it's not stopping like it normally does. Normally I just summon a bolt of lightning and it goes off and that's that. You watch as you do this and it continues striking him as he's flying through the air across, and you're like, oh no, I need to do other stuff. I need to stop sending this lightning out. But you manage to, even as you feel the fire just erupting on the scarred parts of your body, you manage to bring that back in and bring it under control.
Okay. And I think in that moment she's going to shout out, and she's trying to release the energy in like any way that she can, whether that's breathing, whether it's like putting her hand out and like having it expel from her body, and she shouts out orders to Crick, and her voice doesn't sound like how it normally is. It's like overlaid with something else, but I don't think she's ever heard herself even sound like that before.
The 7 voices of the spirits you're channeling, stacked on
and
top of yours.
She's gonna say, "Let the boat go. We can't do this. Crick, get Yagoda and Tony. When I'm sure that I can let go, I will follow behind." And then that's her order to them. That's like the last order.
Okay. Kavlov, you land and bring your hammer down, and you see as Mercy tries to swing it over and realize she doesn't have enough time, and then just like brings the rifle up to block your blow as you crash all the way through it, breaking it in half with your sledgehammer, and then smashing into her shoulder. And as she nearly falls out of the boat, hanging over the side, you see as she struggles back up to her feet, one arm hanging completely useless at her side, her trigger arm. And she's like fumbling for a knife. And you hear your rage focused on her off to your right. Kavlov? And you turn and see your wife sitting in the boat, absolutely shocked, before the man standing at the helm turns, walks up, and lands one fist in your gut harder than you've ever been punched before. And you go flying through the air over the trailing boat and plunge back into the water, taking level 4 harm pulverized. Would you like to resist?
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, no. It's only a level 3. Because of that special armor, you are gonna. It wouldn't be deadly. It would only be a level 3 harm pulverized.
I'll heal you up just fine when we get home.
I'm gonna take it.
Okay. You go sailing through the air as, you see him do something similar to what you felt when you took on this superhuman strength. But for him, it is just channeling a part of who he is, not reaching heights greater than man was meant to be. He is more than a man already. And you see just dead eyes. Yours were dead of emotion. His are dead because there is no life in him. And he just slams you with the hardest punch you've ever felt. You go tumbling. You actually take 2 of the hooded figures off the back of that boat with your body as you fly, and you all go splashing into the water. You're struggling. You have to let your hammer go, and you're trying to like undo your armor just so you can stay afloat as you're at level 3 harm, need help, as you see this boat just take off. And I think as it went, it kind of left view of everyone else, and you actually came out into the fork of the Dosk River, and you see this boat not turning right or left to go to somewhere else in the city, but leaving and heading toward the distant lightning barrier around the city in the direction of the Lost District. And that is where we're going to end tonight's episode.
Oh my god.
Thank you for listening, and good night, mortals.
Yeah, just cue that music.
No.
Baby.
No. There will be no music cued today.